thing which is important in driving a car is what? The gear assembly. अगर assembly जो strong है और उसको properly क्या है वो गाड़ी को monitor करती है तो quality नज़र आती है किसको? Customer को. अगर gears को change करने में problem है तो गाड़ी को चलाने में अपने आप ही problem आ जाएगी. Right? And that is how exactly they went in for assembling their own gears, and they created their gear assembling plant, friends. And they are not only producing gears for their own models of the car, but they are also trying to help other companies. And that is what? Seeking ownership or increased control of firm supplier. And that is how exactly you can reduce your cost also, friends, right? It goes for manufacturing some of its components. And look in for what are these reasons, friend. When present suppliers, again, are expensive. Number of suppliers is small and number of competitors large, right? High growth in industry. Aaj ke din supplier is also power. Porter has already said. The power of what? Suppliers. And when powers of supplier, let us try to control that power by creating our own what sources of supply. तो ये कुछ चीजें हैं जो important हैं हम लोगों के लिए as a strategist friend. That how exactly we can improve. I remember one of my friends when he went in for manufacturing a detergent. And I'm talking of way back 1983-84 की बातें मैं कर रहा हूँ friend. And he created one detergent in the name of Tufan Mail. But that was not successful in the market. He went to market it over there in a state called as Haryana. He had a manufacturing facility at Rohtak only. And from there he went to nearby villages. He failed miserably, friends. All the friends asked him to stop his business. He said, no, I'm determined to what continue in this particular business. So he realized that where he is lacking. He realized two things are lacking in him. Number one is what? How to produce it, the production technology. And second is what? The packaging. Because it's an age of packaging. So he went over there to Ahmedabad. Why he realized that Ahmedabad should be a place? Because वो Patils बहुत हैं and they are into what? Karsan Bhai Patil and ये सारे जो पटेल लोग हैं, they are all from where? Gujarat only. So he realized that Gujarat में जो है ये detergent industry is household industry. घर घर में बनता है क्या? Detergent. हाँ. तो वो भी वहाँ चला गया. उसने कहा 1 महीना 2 महीने में यहीं लगाऊंगा. सिर्फ मैं यहाँ सीखूंगा कि detergent कैसे बनाते हैं साहब. He spent time over there, he learned the technology, he understood ins and outs and therefore understood the packaging part, came back over there in his own native place, Rohtak, and started again manufacturing of this detergent and changed the name of the product from what? Tufan Mill to Nikhar. Because he could understand the brand should be such which can spell out the quality, right? What it can deliver to the, for the purpose for it is meant. So Nikhar उसने उसका नाम रखा, friends, and he again went in for marketing, the same type of a thing. And friends, he could realize that the strength he could create is only whom? The distributor. So he created these types of dealers and distributors over there in villages और वहाँ दीवारों पे उसने सब कुछ किया. But देखा उसको जो disadvantage हो रही है, that is only the cost disadvantage. Because his immediate competitor was what? Wheel. क्योंकि वही उन दिनों सस्ता डिटर्जेंट हुआ करता था जो हरियाणा के पॉकेट्स में जाता था. जब उसने कंपेयर किया तो उसने कहा कॉस्ट में मुझे बड़ा डिफरेंस आ रहा है और मैं इस कॉस्ट को और कम कैसे कर सकता हूँ. देन ही रियलाइज्ड दैट व्हाट इज द इंपॉर्टेंट रॉ मटेरियल दैट इज यूज्ड इन दैट टाइप ऑफ अ डिटर्जेंट एंड दैट वाज सैलरिक एसिड. सो ही सेड इफ आई एम इन अ पोजीशन टू हैव माय ओन सप्लाईज ऑफ व्हाट? Cellularic acid, I will not be playing in the hands of the suppliers of cellularic acid. I will be in a position to augment my supplies as well as what? Reduce my cost of production, plus whatever surplus is there, I can further market it and further what? Earn profit even through what? The cellularic acid. And that model very well basically helped that particular organization, friend. And now I think Nikhar is now a household name over there in Haryana, friends. And now he is giving his ads over there on this national channel also. देखा होगा, and he is into what now? Not only detergent powder, but into what? Cakes and many other types of products, but only into what? Washing material. And that is how exactly what I just want to say is that we keep on analyzing. It is important for us to go in for forward integration. It is important for us to go for what? Backward integration. How exactly we can basically what? Grow, right? That is very important. We keep on understanding it. And then we move towards what we are talking of horizontal integration, seeking ownership or increased control over whom? Our competitors. And I think we have already looked in for this is what is happening. One bank is trying to what? Merge with another type of a bank. And अगर अभी आपने देखा होगा तो you must have looked in for various types of these combinations which are happening over there in the marketplace, friends, right? And the reasons for this, if you look in for, is a very simple. Firm can gain monopolistic characteristics, although that is not possible, right? And competes in growing industry, increase economies of scale, and flattening and losing due to what managerial expertise, and that is how exactly they go in for what, right? Horizontal integration. जब उनके पास कोई ना कोई एक weakness होती है तो they convert their weakness into what? Into their strength through what we are talking in terms of horizontal integration. I think everybody knows when Coca-Cola came into India again, and when they were asked to leave India way back 1990 High Court judgment in Bombay High Court, when they came over there and they could see Pepsi was what first to enter into the Indian market. And if they really want to compete with Pepsi, who has a wide distribution network, it is very difficult for whom? Coca-Cola to establish distribution network overnight. And if they have to create their own distribution network, I think years after years they have to what spend to create what? Distribution network. So what they did. They went in for acquiring what? Parley. And that is how exactly I think we could see how exactly Coca-Cola now is giving what a fight to whom? Pepsi, right? And I think all these are what? Strategies in action, friend. We really look in for companies, they keep on doing all these things, right? And I could see friends, a company out over there again from Rohtak, LPS, I शायद आपने नाम सुना होगा, Lakshmi Precision Screws. Now it is no longer LPS, is LPS Bussard. And what is this LPS Bussard? So they went in for what? This horizontal integration, because when they went abroad to market their products, nuts and bolts बनाते हैं, industrial products बनाते हैं. When they went out over there, they could see that they were not having any type of international recognition. And that recognition really gave them the disadvantage. So they went in for what? Integration with this Bussard organization from US. And that is how exactly now it has become an international name. So I think we really have to look in for how exactly we are in a position to what? Grow our business. I think then we have something called as intensive strategies, right? And intensives are in terms of, I think this model again is 2x2 matrix, which we have already seen, this 2x2 matrix. And this 2x2 matrix very clearly says, in case of products, it can be current or what? New. And in case of, when we talk of markets or customers, they again can be what? Current or new, right? If products are the same and customers are also the same, we move towards one strategy called as what? Market expansion strategy. Finding new uses of the same product, finding new applications of the same product, finding new pockets in the existing market, right? More and more penetration. हम और मार्केट में और डीप अंदर क्या है चले जाते हैं, राइट? जैसे आज के दिन ऐड आता है कि मुझे ये समझ नहीं आता मैं फेयरनेस क्रीम लगाऊं या मैं राइट विंटर क्रीम लगाऊं. इट्स लॉट ऑफ कंफ्यूजन. तो कंफ्यूजन की जरूरत ही नहीं है ना, बिकॉज वी हैव नाउ व्हाट या फेयर एंड लवली हैविंग बोथ दी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स इन दैट, कि वो फेयरर भी है और उसमें क्या है मॉइस्चराइजर भी है. तो इसलिए आई थिंक कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं है. So I think when we are trying to have what? One product and multiple applications of the same product. Bernol is not only Bernol for what? Right? For, yeah, burns. We can also use an antiseptic cream. I think more uses of the same product. And that is how exactly market penetration we are in a position to do it. And that is what I have said, market penetration is one. So इसमें simple सी बात है, same product and same market. Very easy and very important for whom? For every company to look in for what? Go in for market penetration, less costly strategy, friends. When we move into what we are talking in terms of when products are new, Eicher came out with Eicher 25 horsepower. They could realize now 25 horsepower कोई नहीं लेता है. They came out with 30 horsepower. 30 horsepower we consider to be very low in this tractor segment. They came out with what? 35, 45, 60. और जब वो जैसे जैसे उन्होंने अपनी क्या हॉर्स पावर न्यू एंड न्यू प्रोडक्ट्स दे केम आउट विद, मारुति आई थिंक न्यू एंड न्यू प्रोडक्ट्स. आज के दिन चैलेंज ये है कि how many new product introductions we are doing in what? In 1 year. And that is what we are talking in terms of what? Product development. Customers remain the same, but what? Products are new and new. And this is also one of the way to what? Further, and that is what we have said, it's another called as what? Product development. Intensive growth, right? And we are in a position to grow. Then we talk in terms of what? When the products are the same, but markets are new. हम इंडिया में बेचते हैं, इंडिया में कहाँ बेच रहे हैं? पंजाब हरियाणा में आइशर बिकता था, फिर यूपी में बेचना शुरू किया, साउथ में बेचना शुरू किया. इट इज ऑल व्हाट? मार्केट एक्सपेंशन. नाउ दे स्टार्टेड एक्सपोर्टिंग आल्सो यार. सो इन व्हाट? डोमेस्टिक मार्केट इनटू व्हाट? इंटरनेशनल मार्केट्स. एंड दैट इज ऑल बेसिकली कॉल्ड एज व्हाट? मार्केट development. We really are trying to develop our market. It's again very very important, although it is a slightly costly strategy. क्योंकि जैसे जैसे मार्केट्स चेंज होती है फ्रेंड्स, यू हैव टू एस्टैब्लिश न्यू डीलर्स, न्यू डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स, मोर प्रमोशन, right? But in any case, once you keep on growing, friends, right, geographically. So it's a geographical expansion. And when you are growing geographically, you are in a position to what? Not putting all your eggs into one basket. And that is how exactly you will never feel what your business is what is not doing good. And that is very important, friend. And when we move into what altogether new products and new markets, I will not touch it over here. It's called as what diversification, right? But I am just trying to give you an idea about expansion. So expansions can be in three ways. Expansion can be what? Moving more into the market, and it's called as market penetration. Expansion can be through what? Developing new and new products, product development. Expansion can be in terms of what? New and new market, geographical expansion called as what? Market development. And market development, it can be domestic, and from domestic to what? International. I think there's a lot of expansion. और इंटरनेशनल में भी आज के दिन फर्म्स क्या कर रही हैं? इंटरनेशनलाइज कर रहे हैं, फिर या मल्टीनेशनलाइज कर रहे हैं, मल्टीनेशनलाइज से फिर ग्लोबलाइज कर रही हैं. Right? When we are operating in two countries, we are international. When we are operating in many countries, we are multinational. And when we are operating in most of the countries, we are what? Global. And that is what is a transition. Domestic to international, international to multinational, multi. It's all geographical market development. Business यहाँ नहीं तो business बाहर है. But again, sir, business अगर अमेरिका में और अमेरिका ही रिसेशन में है तो पूरे लगेगा कि दुनिया में क्या आ गया है रिसेशन. निकल जाओ वहां से, दूसरी जगह चले जाओ. And that is how exactly they strategize. This is what is strategizing or strategy in action. Fine. So I have already said, friends, market penetration, I will not touch much on this. Seeking increased market share for the present products or services in present markets through greater marketing efforts. Right? And there's no harm doing it. First of all, go for market penetration. Then from there, move into what? These are some of the reasons. Current markets not saturated. Usage rate of present customers can be increased. Market shares of competitor declining. Increased economies of scale. And that can be one of the major competitive advantage. We move towards the second called as market development, introducing present products or services into what? New geographical areas. And we have looked in for various reasons for that. New channels of distribution that are reliable, firm, is very successful at what it does, untapped, unsaturated market, capital, human resources necessary to manage expanded operations, excess production capacity. Then what we should do? We should what? Go for market expansion, right? And then basic industry rapidly becoming what? Global. और ग्लोबल बन रही है तो जाएंगे हम भी ग्लोबल बन जाएंगे, क्या प्रॉब्लम है, राइट? वी विल गो एज पर व्हाट द मार्केट टेल्स अस. सो वी आर ऑलवेज इन टच विद whom? With the market. And who is there in the market, friends? It is the customer. So always be in touch with whom? With your customers, friend, right? Not only the domestic but also what? International. Fine. Product development, I have already said, increase sales by improving present products or services or developing what? New ones, right? And you have looked in for how Apple became very successful. You could see how exactly Nokia failed in front of whom? Samsung, right? And now I think many new names are emerging in the market, right? Xiaomi, and people are really crazy about what? Xiaomi. And that is how exactly what features you are finding in what? These types of local brands. You could not think in terms of what? In the branded products. And that is how exactly people are trying to look in for. The shelf life of these mobiles are very, very less, friends. Aggressive marketing is being done. And whenever I look at my mobile and I could see the mobile out over there in what? On all these medias, I'm always feeling what? Shy. यार ये मैंने मोबाइल हाथ में रख रखा है, हटाओ इसको, दूर हो जा मेरी नजरों से. I'll go in for a new one. And that is how exactly they are trying to multiply what? Your needs and wants. This is what is marketing, friends. Creating fogging. Creating what? This is called a disruptive technology. Disruptive technology is what? You try to make the customer realize that what technology he is using is outdated. Try to have what? The latest technology with you. And I think we are all progressive. And we feel if we really want to be progressive, we nearly need to have what? Progressive things in our hands, right, with us. And that is the advantage what the marketers are trying to take it. I think products in the maturity stage competes in industry. Major competitors offer better quality and compete in high growth industry, strong research and development capability. All these basically helps us to what? Develop new and new products. So idea is, I think, very clear, friends, that either go for what? Intensive growth, or go for what we are talking in terms of what? Integrative growth, right? Now we talk in terms of what we are talking of diversification strategies. It can be related diversification, जिसमें हम concentric diversification बोलते हैं, और दूसरा हम बोलते हैं unrelated diversification, जिसको हम conglomerate diversification बोलते हैं. बड़ी बड़ी सिंपल सी बातें हैं, बट सर समझना क्या है? That you have to keep your eyes and minds always open. These words are always there with you, friends. And once these words are there, these jargons are there with you, I think you can always strategize. So what strategy? At the time I am into what? Putting things into action. I have to choose it. I think all these strategies are there for me. I have to decide what is the situation, and on the basis of that, I can choose it. Now, let's try to talk in terms of diversification. So, concentric, conglomerate, or we talk of horizontal diversification. Very, very simple things. I have just thought concentric, single point, and from there we keep on going. So, concentric जैसे circles होते हैं, इसी तरह से we have this type of, so adding new but related products or services, right? Now you could see Bata, it was into shoes, they went in for what, sports wear, it was what? A concentric. They can come in for swimsuits. I think again it is what? Concentric diversification, right? And that is how exactly we are trying to look in for what? New products, but what? Related products. And that is what we are talking. A lot of marketing synergies you will get it. You will be in a position to expand. Same shop, same type of customers, but when they come out over there, under single window, you are providing what? Their diversified needs. वो जूते खरीदेगा तो स्पोर्ट्स ट्रैक सूट भी वो चाहेगा, राइट? और ट्रैक सूट के साथ अगर उसको कुछ स्पोर्ट्स गुड्स भी चाहिए होंगे वो भी चाहेगा. So this is how exactly people try to look in for what are these types of complementary products and keep on adding these complementary products, right? Now reasons compete से no or slow growth, industry adding new or related product increases sales of the current product. बड़ा important है friends. आपने देखा होगा ज़्यादातर कार कंपनीज देयर कम इन व्हाट देयर ओन कार एसेसरीज, राइट? गाड़ी खरीदेगा तो खरीदेगी कि खरीदेगा क्या? एसेसरीज. और आई हैव सीन if you're in a position to what? Increase the sales of your car, could not get margins out over there, at least you can get margins where? In terms of accessories. That is how exactly companies are trying to look in for, friends. New and related products offered at competitive prices. Current products are in decline stage of the product, right? Strong management team. All these basically are the reasons for what? Concentric. Now we move towards what the second called as conglomerate diversification. Very simple. It's altogether what? Unrelated products and services, right? And you are trying to make tractors, you go in for generators. Eicher came in for generators also. Eicher came in for what? Motorcycles also. Altogether new lines of product. Her line started with textiles, they went in for what? Petroleum refinery, right? Now they are into what? Energy, you talk in terms of communication, you talk in terms of retail, you talk in terms of real estate, you talk of anything, friends, right? So diversified. And this is how exactly we further what? Grow. And that is how exactly we have to look in for what, right? And we talk of horizontal when we, so reasons I think you can look in for very simple reason. Declining annual sales, capital and managerial talent to compete successfully in new industry. You have those talents, which can be basically what, right? Put to work in your another lines of business, right? Financial synergy. And that is how exactly existing markets for present products are what? Saturated. So you try to look in for what? New and new lines of business, right? So very important, friends, look in for this horizontal diversification. Companies go in for what? Unrelated, but adding what? Those types of products which basically can help further to what? Grow their business. So I have normally seen companies, they go in for their own financing options, they go in for their own insurance options, right? And that is how exactly they are into what? नहीं तो बाहर से कहीं से इंश्योरेंस कराएंगे तो इससे अच्छा क्या है? कंपनीज जो हैं वो क्या है अपनी ही इंश्योरेंस प्रोडक्ट शुरू कर देते हैं. दे कम इनटू व्हाट देयर ओन इंश्योरेंस और फाइनेंस बिजनेस, राइट? रीजंस फॉर दिस, इफ यू लुक इन फॉर रेवेन्यूज फ्रॉम करंट प्रोडक्ट्स वुड इंक्रीज सिग्निफिकेंटली बाय एडिंग व्हाट? न्यू अनरिलेटेड प्रोडक्ट्स. Highly competitive, no growth industry, low margins and no returns, right? Present distribution channels can be used to market new products to what? The same customers. New products have cyclical sales pattern compared to what? तो ऐसे cyclical fluctuations को भी avoid करने के लिए we go in for what we are talking in terms of horizontal diversity. It's not necessary that Maruti Insurance is only trying to insure for what? The Maruti products. They are open to what? Insurance for any other types of, say, company's product also. And that is how exactly we are in a position to what? Grow into a new line of business, but which basically is trying to help us in terms of what? Now some of these defensive, वो मैंने सारी growth strategies के बारे में बात किया था. Now we talk of what? The defense. How we can be defensive? What is contradiction? This is a contraction, right? हम withdraw करते हैं. So it's retrenchment, divestiture, and we are talking in terms of liquidation. इसके अलावा और कोई डिफेंसिव हमारे यहाँ मूव नहीं हो सकता. कंसोलिडेशन जिसको हम बोल देते हैं. बैंक ने बहुत सारी ब्रांचेस खोल दी एंड दे आर नॉट इन अ पोजीशन टू गेट सफिशिएंट रेवेन्यू फ्रॉम दोस पर्टिकुलर ब्रांचेस. इट्स ऑलवेज बेटर टू गो फॉर व्हाट? कंसोलिडेशन, राइट? विड्रॉवल. देयर इज नो हार्म, फ्रेंड्स. ब्रांचेस को बंद कर रहे हैं, नहीं सर ईगो आ जाती है मेरे आड़े. So I don't feel when we do any business, we should be guided by what? These egos and emotions. We should be practical in our approach. That is very important. Let's talk in terms of what the first called, these are some of the joint ventures, retrenchments, divestiture, liquidation, right? तो इसमें हम क्या करते हैं, जैसे आप देखिए इसमें जॉइंट वेंचर की बात करते हैं, तो मैंने कहा इट इज़ नथिंग बट कॉल्ड एज व्हाट, सम टाइप ऑफ पार्टनरशिप्स दैट वी आर ट्राइंग टू अरेंज। बहुत हमारे यहाँ हुई हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा। आई थिंक आफ्टर लिबरलाइजेशन द मैक्सिमम थिंग दैट इंडिया डिड वॉज व्हाट, joint ventures. And why these joint ventures were there, everybody knows the reason very well. Whatever thing in which we were deficient, we are in a position to what? Bring it through what joint venture. अगर आज हमारे पास 100 cc की technology नहीं थी, Japan was having that technology, let us what enter into joint venture. So Hero entered into joint venture with what? Honda, and got that 100 cc technology. Again 800 cc technology was not there with India, no problem. We'll get it from where? Suzuki. And that is how exactly into Suzuki what? So Maruti Suzuki joint venture. बहुत सारी ऐसी मैंने इंडस्ट्रीज देखी, एंड जॉइंट वेंचर्स होती ही इसीलिए हैं, राइट, टू आर मोर स्पॉन्सरिंग फॉर्म सेपरेट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फॉर कोऑपरेटिव पर्पसेस। जब आप अपने आप में स्टेबल हो जाते हैं, आई थिंक यू कैन ऑलवेज ब्रेक दोज व्हाट पार्टनरशिप्स, राइट। जॉइंट वेंचर्स में सबसे बड़ा जो एडवांटेज होता है दैट इज आइदर टेक्नोलॉजी और इन टर्म्स ऑफ फाइनेंस, राइट, इवन यू गेट व्हाट द ब्रांड ऑल्सो, राइट। एंड द डिसएडवांटेज इज व्हाट, you have to pay royalty to whom? To the joint venture partner, right? You will be surprised to look in for 6,000 rupees per motorcycle used to be the loyalty which Hero organization was paying to whom? Honda. 6,000 rupees per motorcycle, I think is not a small amount. And if they are having what, sale of 10 lakh motorcycles in 1 year, you can imagine how much of the revenue goes to whom. And that is how. So that is the advantage of what the joint ventures as a disadvantage, right? Reasons for that, if you look in for a combination of privately held and publicly held can be synergized. Synergy बड़ी important चीज़ है फ्रेंड्स, जॉइंट वेंचर से होता कुछ भी नहीं synergy होती। मैंने ऐसा भी देखा है, पर्सनल लाइफ में भी मैंने जॉइंट वेंचर्स होते हुए देखा है, और वो पर्सनल रिलेशनशिप्स में भी मैंने जॉइंट वेंचर्स की। आप मैं तो डॉक्टर हूँ और आप साइंटिस्ट हैं, नो प्रॉब्लम, लेट अस ट्राई टू व्हाट मैरी टुगेदर, and therefore what you will do R&D, I will what, recommend those types of medicines, and that is how exactly people are trying to look in for. This is, I am not joking friends, I have looked in for, जैसे जैसे आप देख रहे हैं एज कॉम्पिटिटिव होती चली जा रही है, people are really trying to what, enter into these types of relationships, also looking in for what, how they are in a position to synergize. You are into software, I am into hardware, let us try to combine hands, right? And that is what. Recently I could hear a person who was having a marriage, he said मैंने सर BDS लड़की चूज की क्योंकि मैं MDS कर रहा हूँ वो क्लिनिक खोलेगी और मैं क्या है, I will be the consultant over there. And this is how exactly people are trying to look in for, right? So this is, I think, synergy or called as joint venture. Domestic firms joint venture with foreign firm can obtain local management to reduce certain risks. Distinctive competencies of two or more firms are complementary to each other. Overwhelming resources and risks where project is potentially very profitable. Two or more smaller firms have trouble competing with larger firms, so they go in for what? Joint ventures, right? A need exists to introduce a technology quickly. I think that is only possible through what? Joint venture route, fine. Retrenchment, I should not focus much on that. It's regrouping through cost and asset reduction to reverse declining sales and profit. Sometimes it is called turnaround or reorganization strategy. People are doing it, friends. Organizations are into what? Retrenchment, into what? Turnaround. And I could see various types of industries, specifically in the public sector. They really have turnaround just because of what? Retrenchment. बड़ी बड़ी ज़मीनें हुआ करती थी पुराने ज़माने में, बड़े बड़े प्लांट्स लग जाते थे, idle capacity used to be there. So most of these spare lands have been what? Disposed of, right? Some of the assets have been disposed of. Spare capacities had been outsourced, and that is what we are talking in terms of. So कैश क्रंच जो आता है उसको रिकवर करने के लिए आई थिंक दैट इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट मूव टू गो इन फॉर व्हाट? विड्रॉवल और कॉल्ड एज व्हाट? टर्न अराउंड, रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए हम बात करते हैं। firm has failed to meet its objectives goal consistently over time but has distinctive competencies. Firm is one of the weaker competitors. Inefficiency, low profitability, poor employee morale and pressure from stakeholders to improve what? Performance. When an organization strategic managers have failed, obviously the only alternative is to go in for what we are talking of, turn on very quick growth to large organization where a major internal organization is needed. I was just reading one biography of Lee Iacocca. Biography of Lee Iacocca, and he was the general manager of a company called as a Ford Motor Company. He gave blood to the organization Ford and turned around the Ford, and basically Ford became a domestic name over there in America. Friends, when Ford was so popular over there in America, the Henry Ford, who was the CEO of that particular organization, could realize what is the need for this person called as Lee Iacocca. अरे फोर्ड तो अपने आप कर रहा है यार, ये तो फोर्ड कर रहा है, लिया Iacocca क्या कर रहा है? So he basically what? Asked Lee Iacocca to what? Leave the organization. Lee Iacocca was really surprised. उसको सपने से जागा, उसने कहा यार ये क्या हुआ? मैंने तो सोचा था ये मेरी अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, मुझे निकाल दिया. Ford has shunted me out of the organization. He went over there to his house, shutted his room. Wife kept on knocking. क्या हुआ, आप जल्दी कैसे आ गए ऑर्गेनाइजेशन? उसने कहा प्लीज डोंट टॉक टू मी, आई जस्ट वांट टू स्टे इन आइसोलेशन. अपने आप को उसने रूम में बंद कर लिया, अंदर बैठा सोचता रहा, बस यही सोचता रहा यार ये क्या हुआ है. मैंने कभी सोचा ही नहीं था कि आई हैव टू लीव व्हाट Ford. I had given my blood, I have given my life, I had given my years to this organization, and now Ford says, sorry, organization is not because of you, you are there in the organization, and therefore don't undermine that you are the only person making responsible for the growth of what? Ford. Now there was an organization which was Chrysler Motor Corporation over there in America, friends, and they were looking in for the CEOs, and they came to know that Lee Iacocca has been removed by whom? By Ford. So they went over there to his house and asked Lee Iacocca, sir, no problems if you have led this organization or you have been asked to leave this organization, we basically allow you to what? Join the organization. He said, sorry, I have understood that these entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs and they don't understand the importance of what? The employees. I was thinking this Ford is me and me is Ford, but now I have realized it is Ford and me is me. Therefore, I am not interested to join any organization. Try to understand, friends. They said, no, sir, this was the biggest mistake what Ford has done, but we really want to have you. And they even went over there during that time. Nixon used to be the president of what? America, and they approached Nixon also. Nixon also went over there because he was a personal friend of what? Lee Iacocca. And he asked Lee Iacocca, no problem, whatever has happened is past now. And you now think in terms of joining what? This Chrysler Motor Company. Now, when there was a lot of pressure on him, friends, he writes in his book, he says that I made my mind to basically join this particular organization with only one condition. And what was the condition? That if I'm going to join any organization, I'm going to take only $1 as salary from where? From the organization, so that organization should not think that I am cost to the organization. They should only understand my importance, but never look in from what? From the cost perspective. The Chrysler Motor Organization, they agreed, no problem, sir. You can join our organization and whatever terms and conditions you want, we'll agree to it. He said, sorry, no terms and only $1 salary, and I don't want any other perks and benefits.